In this video, we are going to dive in a little deeper on one of the house principles of design. Now, as a recap or a refresher, house principles, that stands for hierarchy, alignment, unity, and space, HAUS. But we are actually going to be diving deeper into the U in house, which is unity. And if you've had me before in other classes, you may hear me speak about unity in the sense that I think that we could actually replace almost the word unity and replace it with consistency. You need to be consistent in your design choices, which brings us to unity. Right? Consistency builds credibility. When you are unified in some of those design choices, you're building up the credibility of the design and of the message. Your viewer is paying attention and listening and getting that information that you're trying to communicate with them. So unity is the harmony produced by the elements of design. How well do they work together? Again, they don't have to be all the same. You could definitely have variety in them, but you need to remain unified in certain choices. If you've decided on a specific text, right? It's a specific font. You need to remain consistent in that font choice. And you could definitely vary by the weight. I think that that's totally fine. If you've chosen, I am using Helvetica. That is the font that I am using. I will use Helvetica through the whole entire piece. But to create visual hierarchy, to show contrast, you can vary the weights. You can vary the size of the text, the weight of the text, right? Maybe the even though you're using Helvetica, maybe the title is bold, large, and a different color versus the body copy of the design, which is regular Helvetica in like a reading size, which would be between 9 and I would say 11. That's like a good reading size. 12 is technically too big. So like a 9 and 11, and I'm just gonna that's what my it's gonna be 10. My 10-point size font is going to be in Helvetica, it's going to be regular, and I'm going to keep it the same throughout. That is the way I'm going to be consistent, but it's the show variety, it's a different weight and a different size than the title. So again, that creates unity because you're being consistent in your font choice, but you're also showing variety by changing up the weight and the size of the font. The same thing could be said about color. The same thing could be said about the overall aesthetic. You want to be unified in aesthetic, but maybe again, you want to vary some other elements on the page. So a lack of unity would make your design feel cluttered and confusing. So a good rule of thumb is to ask yourself, does this enhance my message? So changing things up and having certain things in your page, you can be overwhelming with it, but if there is unity, if there's harmony, that means they're working together. If you're placing an element, if you're placing something in the design that doesn't complement, well, then it probably shouldn't be there. Now you're creating conflict, right? Within the design, they're conflicting with each other.